Challenges of the poor in India, I believe, can only be solved by aspiring, energetic minds in the youngsters in all of you here. This is not to say that the grey-haired people sitting in this audience are irrelevant. 80% of our MBAs and 80% of our designers actually go on to make the wealthy wealthier. The rich become richer. The rich and the poor divide is so high that that's why continuously we are hearing about this whole discussion around India versus Bharat. And this discussion will continue to happen till we create mechanisms to address problems of the poor. And what do I mean by problems of the poor? The poor have remained poor over the last so many years and will continue to do so till we made a big difference to their livelihoods. Innovations are required because if we continue to do what we did over the last few years, that's not going to change. So, I have this small story to tell. I set up Wilgrow in Chennai. When I came to Chennai, there was acute water shortage. There was no way we could get drinking water. In our apartments, we had to buy 3 tankers a week. And we all wondered, there was adequate rains, but we all wondered why this was happening. Government brought about an innovation. All what it did was, it said in a span of 30 days, every household has to implement rainwater harvesting. Very simple, known to everyone, but never got executed. In my mind, ideas that exist, but never get executed. In some cases, ideas don't exist, but they need to be created. So, if you take both these, today in Chennai, not a single tanker comes into the city of Chennai. A 30-day campaign that forced everyone to do rainwater harvesting has changed the entire water situation in the city of Chennai. The water table in the city of Chennai has increased by, they say, around 20 feet, and the quality of water has also increased because the quantum of water has improved and therefore ppm has reduced. So, the point that I am trying to make is a simple thing like water harvesting, which is acute to us, a physiological need that could be addressed through a different way of solving that. There are n number of problems, be it illiteracy that we have in our country, malnourishment, lack of jobs. There are so many innovations possible. I am not going to take you through many innovations that a lot of aspiring youngsters are working on, but I would like to pick on one or two to show how the power of entrepreneurship, the power of social entrepreneurship in particular, can have a big difference to the lives of poor, and at the same time youngsters like you also, I think, creating some wealth. Some time back, if you actually told people that you are working with the poor and you are also making some money, they would slap you, correct? If you said you are working with the poor and making some money, you won't go out of this room. But with all confidence, I am telling you, those days are gone. If you said, continue to say, I work for the poor, I work for the betterment of them, but I will become poor, right? It does not make sense. So, the point that I am trying to say is, let us not get greedy, let us not try to create excessive wealth, but let us try to become sustainable ourselves, let us become wealthier, let us create a business that is sustainable, but still can impact the poor. So, a lady from Delhi called Saloni Malhotra came to rural Chennai, and she realized that the best way in rural Tamil Nadu is that a lot of people are educated, but have lot of skills, but don't go out of their villages to work. So, she said the best thing to do was to set up a BPO that does data entry right there in the village, and she set up BPOs, and she grew that company. And today she runs BPO centers for Infosys and a few other companies in villages of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. A set of bright young engineers from MIT, very competent, had great jobs, left their jobs and said, we have built this great technology that can chill milk. Instead of a bulk milk chiller, situated far away from collection centers of cooperative societies and milk collection centers, let us set up a rapid chilling technology right in the village. So, if you are familiar with milk collection happens in scattered villages across India, and if the time from which the milk is collected is more than 4 hours till it reaches a bulk milk chiller where it has to be transported in a container, the chances that the spoilage of milk is very high. So, if you could chill the milk at an affordable rate at the village level, what will happen is spoilage of milk reduces, therefore, dairy becomes more profitable, hopefully farmers will get a better share. What it also happens is farmers who are otherwise left out of the procurement chain will now start getting included, and that is exactly what this company did. Now, private dairies have started ordering this chilling unit. It is such a simple technology, it is a good thermal battery. For those of you who are engineers, I do not know how many engineers are in this group. For those of you who are engineers, a good thermal battery charges when there is electricity, discharges when there is no electricity, and chills milk from 30 degrees, 35 degrees centigrade to 2 degrees centigrade. It is stored in a simple silo, an insulated silo, and you have chilled milk. The question that I am asking is, we have the best of technological institutions across our country. We have management schools. Where are these solutions? Why aren't these solutions coming? Now, therefore, those who have tasted a lot of financial success, those who have tasted certainty, and that is why I go back to people who are 35s, 40s, people like many of us are not the risk takers that are required to take on this challenge. These challenges require a marathon runner, it is not a 100-meter dash. So, youngsters like you who are entrepreneurial enough, who have the energy, I believe should try to solve some of these problems, and that is how you build businesses, but you also create wealth. You also create some profitability for yourself, and also when you set up a company, society I think looks at you very differently as to somebody who has been successful. Yes, there will be failures in the way, but what would have failed is not you, but the very idea that you have supported. So, move on to the next idea. What we are going to do today is basically take you through some experiences with people who have been successful at setting up some of these social enterprises in Orissa. We are also going to talk about some tools and knowledge that you should possess when you set on this journey, so that you do not keep making the mistakes that normally everyone does. So, that is really the format of this. Michelle talked about the specific sessions, but I wanted to tell you why we believe that it is important to work in towns like Bhubaneswar. We believe that when you are closer to the problem that you want to solve, you understand the problem. People sitting far away from the problem never have a good appreciation of the problem that they are wanting to solve. So, we believe that social entrepreneurship can be unleashed if we come closer to places where there is poverty, there is relatively poorer sections, and discover bright young minds like you who can solve the problem and create an ecosystem and a supportive environment that can actually solve some of those problems. So, there are networks here, we are going to hear some of them later in the day. National Entrepreneurship Network, of many of you are members there. You have the technology business incubator right in the next floor, who can actually support some of the entrepreneurial ideas and create enterprises out of them. They can create some small funding for you. You are going to hear some of that. TIE is also going to be represented here. How can some of these successful entrepreneurs mentor you and become successful? So, you are going to hear some of those people speak later in the day, and our hope is that we do not end as an event. If we were to end this as an event, I think we have been unsuccessful. Our hope is that some of these interactions continue to happen post this, and some of you become successful entrepreneurs in the days to come by. And we as an organization are committed to actually supporting some of that ecosystem building work. And post this event, we hope to trigger some of that action right here in Bhubaneswar.